Welcome to Long Story Long. I'm your host, Lisa Curry. Today's guest is the hilarious comedian Amy Miller. Amy is the host of the podcast Who's Your God that I've been on, by the way, so check that out. And she also has multiple sets on Comedy Central that are available online right now, so definitely check those out after you listen to this. I think you're going to love this conversation. Here you go. Hey, Amy, how are you?
Hey, Lisa. I'm doing good. I'm glad we've worked this out finally.
Yeah, that was a really crazy scheduling, and then I'm like working around family's schedules, staying with my family. It's been wild.
Yeah, I during the pandemic, like I pretty much said yes to like every podcast. You know, I'm like at home. I mean, I truly feel like I probably did 200. I'm not even kidding. But now, like things are kind of opening again. I have more stuff on my calendar, so I'm like, oh, I need to not like overpromise myself.
Yeah, I feel you. Are you back on the road now?
I am going back out next weekend, and then I'll be pretty steadily gone till like mid-August.
Nice. Are you so excited?
I am excited. I'm a little nervous. Not just about COVID stuff, but just like, I don't know, just like traveling that much again and being away from my house. And, you know, it's been so cozy in there. Now I'm like going to be doing 6 a.m. flights and all that shit. But I'm very grateful. I'm not complaining. I like have my job back kind of.
That's great. Are you mostly going out on your own or with other people or?
Really a mix. I got some really good headlining dates, including clubs I hadn't headlined before, which is like such a gift. And then I'm going to do a little tour with Johnny Pemberton, which will be fun. And then, so fun. Yeah, I have dates with Nicole Byer and like probably Bronger and just a couple people that I like regularly open for. Yeah, it should be fun.
I love it.
It's wild.
It's so nice that things are getting back to, I don't want to say normal. Things are going on.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. My first week out, I'll be in Texas, so I'm like, what is this gonna be like? You know, I feel like I'll be outcast forever wearing my mask. But I've been out in LA at the clubs, and it's so arbitrary. Like the rules are like, you have to wear your mask if you stand up, which Brian Simpson tells like a really funny joke about that I can't do better, but he's just like, COVID's not down here. Like, why didn't we all just learn how to crab walk for the last, you know what I mean? It's so weird.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. Like I've been, you know, of course, like going to the grocery store and stuff. And when you're in the lot, you have to separate yourself from the person in front of you by like 6 feet. But then the next cash register over is 6 inches away. So it's like there's somebody immediately to my right. Yeah. So it doesn't really. I mean, I'm abiding by all the rules, but it's also like, we're really missing the mark here, guys.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We're really going back full bore.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
You grew up in Northern California, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where?
And Oakland? I started comedy there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was a little kid, like in this small town outside of Oakland called El Sobrani, and then. But I've lived most of my life in Oakland, a good chunk in Berkeley, and then I moved to Portland for a while, and then New York, and now LA. All major metropolis situations.
I love it. I wish I'd had the foresight to do any of that. Like, did you know when you were a kid that you wanted to get into comedy?
Oh, no. Like, I think that I had some idea that as a little kid I could make adults laugh and other kids a lot of the time, and that was unusual or like, I don't know, like special in some way, but no, it was a total fluke. Like I started at 30 and it was just like, oh, I'm just gonna
really
so I was like, I'm just gonna do this crazy thing and go to an open mic. My friend was like bullying me into it basically, and I didn't think I would go a second time. But no, it was all like, even at that time, I wasn't like a crazy comedy fan or nerd. But thinking back, I did watch a lot of stand up with my dad as a little kid. So I had context for it. But no, I never thought, I was super shy. I never thought I would be a performer or anybody that stands in front of people and does anything, truly. I mean, I was like in choirs, but I wouldn't even really do solos for most of the time I was in choir.
Really?
Yeah. Until I got, this is embarrassing, but I was in adult choir too. And for a while they overlapped, that I was doing comedy and choir at the same time. And then once I got more nerve from doing stand up, then I would like take solos. But yeah, no, it was all a surprise to my family and myself. 100%.
What were you doing before? Like, what was your plan?
My life
by
plan.
30, you're already working full time.
Yeah. So I was going to be a social worker. I went to school for that. And I did social work jobs for a while. And then I kind of had this detour working in the music industry and like music tech startups. And I got kind of sucked into that world for like 5 or 6 years. And that's what I was doing when I started comedy. I was working at Ticketfly, which is now defunct, but was like a pretty
interesting
major ticketing company. Yeah. They got bought by Pandora, and then they got bought by Eventbrite, whatever. Just doesn't matter. But so I was like,
where did you do stand up the first time?
At the Brainwash in San Francisco, which was a laundromat on Folsom. And I was working downtown in like tech, and my friend Becky was just like, let's do this weird thing. I'm like, okay, I could probably write a couple jokes. And that was always a funny place to perform. It was like that open mic ran for like 15 years. But people were legitimately doing their laundry. And a lot of them were very annoyed that there was an open mic going on.
I'm sure.
But
as I would be as well.
Yeah. Like that first night, I think I met probably like David Bory, Claire O'Kane, Lydia Popovich, like
that's so awesome.
Right out of the gate. Yeah. So, and I remember like Emily Heller was still in town, and Janine Brito and Marcella. Like there was this class of women that were like just about to leave. And yeah, I mean, it went fine. Like it was probably 2.5 minutes. Like I felt like I was gonna shit my pants.
That's so cool that you were with that whole group of people. I don't think any of the people I kind of started with are still doing stand up, and so it's like so awesome that I'm very jealous of this, that you
that's
not only
interesting.
Like they're still doing stand up, but it's people that are great.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like, yeah, they're doing stand up, but you know, they suck or whatever.
Yeah, no, it is really cool. I got like a good class. I mean, there's many more people I haven't even mentioned, but I also had like a sort of national class because I started applying to festivals like very early, and since I had this tech job that I could like work from the road for a lot of the time.
Oh, that's so great.
I would do festivals, and I don't know where festivals really stand now, but whenever people are like, what's your advice for a new comic? I'm always like, oh, just start applying early, because if you have the money, I mean, you know, a lot of people can't afford $30 10 times a year, you know, to get rejected. But I think like you apply early, they see you grow, they kind of remember your name, and then, you know, third or fourth time they let you in. But I did a couple very early, and I remember meeting like Kenny DeForest and like all these other people that had started like almost the same month as me. And now, you know, most of those people live in LA or New York, and I see them. And so, yeah.
That's so cool. At what point were you like, this is something I want to do as a career?
I don't think I'm still there. I mean, well, no, listen, we all had a lot of setbacks. I mean, we're talking about going back out on the road again. And part of the reason I'm very happy for that is not just financially, of course, that's a huge part of it, but because, you know, the last year and a half, I've been still doing all this other, like doing auditions, you know, self-tapes and sending in writing packets and stuff. And it's just been like an onslaught of rejection. And I didn't have stand-up to balance that out, you know? So usually it's like, well, whatever, I like work at the Improv. Like that's very special, you know? It's cool to be like work at the Comedy Store. And you have that balance at night where it's like, fucking, I didn't get that writing job, but like I'm doing this job, you know?
It's totally, I really was feeling that as well, where I'm like, stand-up is the one thing where we can always control it. Yeah. You know, where it's, you know, when you're getting rejected from other things, it's like, well, at least I'm a comic, so I can do this, and I can control my destiny to some degree. And then just not having that.
Totally.
Just having the hard stuff was, that was tough.
It was really tough. And I did, truly rethink everything as a career in the past year, because I'm just like, well, if I don't get whatever that writing job is or an acting job, like where does my money come from when I'm 65? You know what I mean? Like, they don't let us tour old as much as the guys get to. Hopefully that'll change maybe, like, as this class of comics ages. I don't know. I'm hoping. But it just got very scary, like, thinking about my future. So I was like, okay, I got to come up with a backup plan. And now I'm, like, doing stand-up again. And I'm like, whatever. I could die tomorrow. I might as well be happy. But I didn't, I guess, to a very long answer, I didn't leave my day job until I moved to LA in 2016.
Really? Wait, by then, when did your album come out?
That same year, I think, 2016. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's old.
Was that part
now.
of your decision? Or, like, did that weigh your decision?
Not really. I was kind of going to do that either way. I mean, really, I just, I had saved some money. I was really done living in Portland. I told myself I didn't want to live there more than 3 years. As long as I did all the things that it kind of mapped out, like do Bridgetown and feature at the club and headline at the club. You know, there are all these little benchmarks and get a TV credit. So I did Last Comic when I was still living in Portland. So I kind of ticked off all my boxes and I was ready to get out of there and I had money saved. So I was like, there's no excuse not to go to LA right now. Like, I want to quit my job. And yeah, that's the last full-time day job I've had, not in comedy, which is pretty wild. It's been 5 years.
That's awesome.
Thanks. I love it. It still is very scary. I'm on poor people insurance and I don't have a savings anymore. And somewhere I have a 401k somewhere out there in the financial realm.
I feel like it's always terrifying. And then just when you're like, what the fuck am I doing? You get a boost, like a big sound exchange payment or something where it's like, oh, okay. All right. Everything's going to be okay.
Totally. Yeah.
It feels like what I imagine a drug problem feels like.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah. Or a gambling problem. Like, literally, it's just
totally.
a casino. Like, it's a slot machine of a career. But that same thing happens to me. Like, I have these moments where I almost feel, because my mom will be like, well, God, made this happen. And I'm like, I don't believe in that. But also, sometimes it does feel that way. I'm like at rock bottom. I'm like $2 in my bank account. And then someone's like, hey, do you want to do this writing job or whatever? And it's like, oh. Or, a lot of the time over the last year and a half, I would just get random Venmos from fans, which totally
so nice.
Touched my heart. Yeah. It's so generous. And not only did it, obviously help me at that time financially, it also was like, oh, okay, I guess I shouldn't leave this job yet. Like, whatever happened, I've had some impact on a few people. They like it, so it was really, really nice. But yeah, I still don't really know if I would call it a career.
That's so funny. When you went to Portland, that was specifically for comedy, right?
It was kind of serendipitous that I was working at this ticketing company, and then one of my clients that I really liked was hiring a marketing director, and I had already worked with them a lot, and I obviously knew their system, and so I was like, I had mapped out, I think, 4 or 5 cities that I would move to if I got a job there first. That was the only determining factor. So I was going to do Portland, Denver, Austin, Nashville. I think that's it. Because those were places I had been for comedy. I had some contacts and I really liked the town. And so I was looking for jobs in all those places. And then, Portland just came together in a really perfect way. I found this really cute, cheap apartment right out of the gate. And it just all felt like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. And at the time, Ian Carmel was still there. Shane Torres was still there. Helium had recently opened and was a good A-level club. Bridgetown was at its best, and there were all these just factors that kind of put a little spotlight on that scene. And I was like, oh, I think that's a good place for me to go. Plus there seemed to be sort of a gap in like women coming out of there. Like I hadn't heard of like, oh, this is like a lady comic in Portland who's crushing it, you know? So I thought there would be a hole to fill there, and there definitely was. There were very funny people there, but I think like we all kind of needed to get together and like build our own shit and start our own shows. And yeah, it all went exactly according to plan. I found a boyfriend. I got, you know, all of the comedy goals, and
I love that. I was going to ask why Portland instead of like New York or LA right away, but I guess that answers. So from Portland, then you went to New York from there?
Yeah, just for a short amount of time. Well, I don't know why I don't know why I had this like foresight. I think, you know, some of this planning is also like the benefit of starting as like a mostly adult, you know, versus like when I'm, you know, people start at 19 or whatever. Because a lot of people in the Bay Area will do comedy there for like 2 years and then just go to LA because it's so close, because the Bay Area is super expensive. LA's like been cheaper for the last 15 years.
Which is insane to think of, because LA is already prohibitively expensive. I can't imagine.
I know, but pre-pandemic, San Francisco was the most expensive city on the planet. So like it's I mean, it's insane. It's like living in Tokyo, but like, yeah, it's crazy. So I kind of noticed that there was always this like just exodus all the time. And then a lot of people would get to LA and have a hard time, not be able to get up. And so I was like, I want to go to a middle town before I go to LA or New York. And I'm not positive which it'll be, but I at least want to spend a short amount of time in New York. My family's all in California, and I have nieces and a nephew. So it was an older mom. So it was hard to think about going to New York permanently. But of course, if I got a comedy job there, I would go. But I went, you know, from Portland just for like 4 months, literally. And then otherwise, my scheme with New York has really just been to go out there as much as possible. Like, and pre-pandemic, a lot of the time when I was there, people just assumed I lived there. And sometimes that still happens, that I'll get a message and someone will be like, will you do my show tonight? And I'm like, where? And they're like, in Brooklyn. And I'm like, I just say I can't make it. You know, I'm never like, oh, I live in LA. So I just try to bounce back and forth and then take the cheaper rent and the bigger apartment. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, of course. It does feel relatively easy to just like pop into New York often and have that set up for you when you get there. You know?
Yeah, well, being a visitor helps to do like all the good shows kind of in a chunk at once. But, you know, for the clubs, it's nice to have people think like, oh, maybe she lives here. So it's kind of a mix. I've really been trying to ride that line. But yeah, obviously I haven't been there in 16 months, but I'm going to go back soon. But like, yeah, I just, I lucked into this like 4 months of like free rent in New York. So I just went out, did all the shows, like tried to get past everywhere I could. And then I settled in LA, and yeah, like we got an apartment and stuff, and
I love it.
Just been here.
I love your album so much.
Thanks, Lisa. That's so nice.
It's so funny. It's so funny, and I feel like I relate to it super hard. I feel like we have kind of similar families.
Totally.
But, when did you know you were ready to record an album?
Well, I don't know that I ever feel fully ready. I'm like thinking about doing the next one, and I still am. I get sick of jokes so fast sometimes. Then other ones I hang on to for too long. I don't know if you're like that.
Is that the only reason I recorded my album when I did is I was like, I can't say these jokes anymore.
Yeah, you want to set them free. Just put them out there and like.
But then the permanence feels scary because it's like once it's out, the second it's recorded, you're like, fuck, I just thought of a tag for something. And it's like, great.
All the time, yeah. I haven't listened to it back much, but when I have, and like it still plays on Sirius and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I cringe a little bit thinking about that. I don't know how people do this for like a 20-year-old album where like, you know, I hear jokes and I'm like, ooh, I can tell I was stumbling or nervous, or it's like a very early version of that joke. So I don't know. This was sort of a magical moment too that I wasn't necessarily preparing to do an album, but I did. So Sean Jordan and I moved from Portland at the same time. So we did a big going away show at the theater where I actually was the marketing director. And
that's great.
600 people came. It was fully insane.
Wow.
We had a band. Like, it was like a whole extravaganza. Like, people...
That's incredible. And you were just able to pull this off for marketing?
No, I mean, that's just sort of like very flatteringly so, like kind of the impact that Sean and I had in Portland, I guess.
That. That's so cool.
And then we also put together like a band that was like celebrity Portland musicians, you know, like one of the Decemberists and Hutch from the Thermals, and like it was just a little who's who. So yeah, somehow 600 people came to this fucking thing. It was like a beautiful, perfect night. And then I like walk out, like after the show, I'm like walking into the like little bar that's attached to the Aladdin Theater, and Portia, who is the owner of Kill Rock Stars, which is the label I'm on, was just like in the lobby of the Aladdin, and she was like, do you want to do an album? And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, it was just the perfect like button on my time in Portland, because Kill Rock Stars is like, they don't do that much comedy, but they're legends for the music they do, and they're like a really big deal in the Pacific Northwest and elsewhere, I think, in the music world. And so yeah, it happened just like that I like basically walked off stage for my going away show, and she was like, do you want to do an album on Kill Rock Stars? I'm like, yes. And I love how it all kind of went down, like the album art, like I had great photographers.
It's so good.
Thanks. I feel
I'm not like trying to kiss your ass. It's just the whole thing is put together so well and so funny.
No,
really
thank you. I felt, you know, sometimes you kind of settle on a concept, but sometimes you like really feel like you like tapped into one and you can commit. And that I was really excited about, and got this great photographer, Leah Nash, who's actually Bronger's cousin. Portland's a small town.
Oh, random.
And a great makeup artist and hairstyle, you know. And then I think I like posted on Facebook, like, does anybody in Portland have an Airstream, like a vintage Airstream? Because that was like what was in my head. And then there's this drag queen in Portland who like lived in an Airstream outside someone's house. And so
that's so great.
Yeah, so he was like, you can use my trailer for free, and like if you need any like jewelry or like other like a belt or more makeup or whatever. And then he, you know, even had like the flamingo outside the trailer like already there, and that like
so perfect.
There's like a big like cow skull, like it was just so perfect. And then yeah, the recording went well, and I got it on vinyl. It was like all these things. Basically, before I moved to LA, everything went perfect. And since then, it's been just nonstop horrors, rejection, and failure. So I guess I should have stayed in Portland.
That's so funny. I always wonder, like, I mean, from my perspective, you're absolutely crushing it.
Thank you.
And I think from most people's, it's such it's got to be such a tricky thing. Like, I just moved straight to LA and also didn't know I was going to do stand up. So it was like years of floundering and not knowing what the hell I was doing before I like stumbled into comedy. But I think it is really tricky for people that are like deliberately going to a smaller market and then going to New York or LA, because I think a lot of people get really hooked on that, like being the big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
Or like, they're like, I've mastered this. And, you know, we both know people that just don't let go of that then. That are like still, and which is fun. Like, that's cool. Stay in whatever town you want to stay in. But there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, next year I'm moving out to LA. And you're like, sure you are. And it's like 6 years later and they never do. So like,
yeah, it's literally like, you know, homecoming king syndrome, you know, where you just like settle in that town and you're like, remember when I was the big man on campus? And yeah, like if you have a family or you just don't want to move, like I think that's fine. I think that's becoming easier to do. Also to still like have all the same opportunities without leaving your town. But just for me, I was never going to feel like I had fully committed to trying to make stand-up a career if I didn't move, from that middle market. And I didn't want to get to that point where it's like, oh, Amy's like still living there, not from the judgment of other people, but from like, a lot of the time the industry will be like, I mean, we would consider you, but you haven't moved, so you're clearly not committed to this. And, it's different if you have kids and stuff too. Like that's, I mean, people take different routes. Like, yeah,
that's got to be really tough. Give them up for adoption, guys.
Just give them
just
up.
Kids.
Just throw them in the rubbish bin, everybody. But yeah, I also was sick of Portland. So like, it wasn't the town for me. So because I kind of worked. I remember when we were planning this going away show, like for Sean Jordan, the idea of leaving Portland was very hard. And I was like, I am ready to get out of here, So it was very different for each of us. And I still miss it. I miss my friends there. There's still very funny comics that live there who are like, aren't going to move, but they don't have like these lofty comedy dreams. They're fine. Like, chilling, living in a nice town and like going up every once in a while. And like, yeah, I think that's fine. But for me personally,
totally no judgment.
I had to like really try to make